Today we're multiplying decimals. Here's our steps. We're looking at finding the product of 32 hundredths times 4. Step 1 is multiply as if you were multiplying whole numbers. Step 2, we're going to add decimal places. Step 3, place the decimal in the appropriate place. So here's the same problem that's written out. We have 32 hundredths times 4. Now notice I did not worry about trying to line up a decimal place. I simply lined up the digits. So then I multiplied. 4 times 2 was 8. 4 times 3 was 12, carried the 1. 4 times 0 is 0, plus 1 is 1. Now it's time to count decimal places. So notice 32 hundredths has 2 decimal places. The whole number 4 has 0 decimal places, giving us a total of 2. So I underline 2 digits, and then my decimal is placed here. Let's try it out. Our first problem is 5 times 25 hundredths. Now, when I rewrite this, I'm going to put 25 hundredths on the top. I think it's easier to put the number with more digits on the top, and with multiplication it doesn't matter which one comes first, and so that's okay. So now I'm ready to multiply. Notice I lined up my digits. 5 times 5 is 25, carry the 2. 2 times 5 is 10, plus 2 is 12, so here's my 12, carry the 1. 5 times 0 is 0, plus 1 is 1. Now it's time to place my decimal, so I'll count the decimal places. There are 2, so I'll need 2 in my answer, and the decimal will go here. 1 and 25 hundredths for my final answer. Let's try one more. This time we have 2 hundredths times 3. And once again, I went ahead and put this number on the top because it has more. So I'm ready to multiply. 2 times 3 is 6. 3 times 0 is 0. 3 times 0 is 0. Now I'm ready to place my decimal. I notice there are 2 decimal places, so 2 decimal places in my answer. And 6 hundredths is my final answer. One thing we need to remember as we're getting more advanced in mathematics, multiplication can be indicated in 3 ways. The way we're used to seeing is with the x. We won't see it as much anymore because we're going to start using variables soon, and some students get the multiplication x confused with the variable x. So that's why we're going to start seeing dots or the number touching the parentheses. If you see any of these 3 things, it does mean to multiply. All right, now we're going to multiply decimals times another decimal. So notice we're going to line them up the same way. We basically ignore the decimal and we line it up by digits. We will not look at the decimal until we're done with the problem. In this problem, we multiplied 6 times 2 and got 12, carried the 1. 6 times 4 is 24, plus 1 is 25, carried the 2. 6 times 0 is 0, plus 2 is 2. All right, and now I'm ready to place my decimal. On this one, I have 3 decimal places, so in my answer, I'll also need 3 decimal places. Let's try it out. Okay, we have 2 problems. 5 and 7 tenths times 2 and 8 tenths. We also have 4 hundredths times 32 hundredths. I'm going to scoot my paper to the side because we do have more digits to work with. All right, first we're going to do 5 and 7 tenths times 2 and 8 tenths. So now we're ready to multiply. 8 times 7 is 56, carry the 5. 8 times 5 is 40, plus 5 is 45. Okay, as I go to the next column, I'm going to hold my place with a 0. Now I'm ready to multiply the 2 through both digits on the top. 2 times 7 is 14. I'm going to scratch that out and carry my 1. 2 times 5 is 10, plus 1 is 11. 5 and 4 is 9. 4 and 1 is 5. And then we have 1. It's time to place our decimal. We have 2 decimal places, so we'll need 2 in our answer. Our decimal goes here, and we have 15 and 96 hundredths as our final answer. One more to work. All right, this time we've got 32 hundredths times 4 hundredths. I swapped the order on this problem because they have the same number of digits, but because of all these zeros, I'll find that easier to have that on the bottom. So I'm ready to use this 4 to multiply through everything on the top. 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 3 is 12. So I write the 2, carry the 1. 4 times 0 is 0, plus 1 is 1. All right, so I could multiply zeros all the way through, but instead I'm just going to go ahead and leave it here and add zeros where needed. I have 4 decimal places, so I'll need 4 in my answer. 1, 2, 3, and then the 4th one will go here, so I'll plug in a 0. Here's my decimal, and also 0 to hold that whole number spot, and I'm finished.